Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 6 of Split 2 for the Gears of War Pro League. We just wrapped up 3 great-ass series for the day, and we got one more left. I'm Blaze. This is the fantastic PR to my left, and we have Hive versus Fire and Ice coming up soon. And honestly, I don't know which way this series is going to go. Both these squads have had their struggles lately over the last few weeks, but now is the time to decide who is the better between the two.
Yeah, but honestly, when it comes down to both of these teams, the play styles, the recent histories, this has the opportunity to really go down to the wire, a bloodbath. When one team is really getting an advantage, they can really get answered back at a moment's notice due to how aggressive they play with the shotgun, how fast-paced they play. They can easily get left in the wind.
They definitely can. They definitely can. Well, let's take a look at our picks and bans coming into the series so we can kind of know what we have to work with before these two teams, because they are super talented on specific maps. And we see Harbor getting banned out here for F&I. The Hive bans Vaskar. That's an interesting one for me, but also Hive probably feels like they need a little bit more time to master this map once again. So District is going to be played. Exhibit is picked as well, and Hive on the back end of the picks and bans choosing to go towards training grounds to wrap this series up. Jacob, how do you feel about the picks and bans?
I like it in terms of the new Hive, how they're trying to rebuild, like you said. They need some more time. Exhibit, we know that it's kind of straightforward, the hills being the exact same. You can kind of play the same strategy, or at least, for the most part, it'd be very, very similar. District, it could spread out the top and bottom portions of the map, but with a big weapon going down, it can play very, very similar. That one big fight to focus on with a little bit of counterplay after the initial, once you make those rotations, so on and so forth. But I think when it comes to this map cycle, I do think, I'm not going to say it favors Hive, but I think it's a good map cycle for a team that's in the rebuilding phase.
I agree with you. I think District is going to be that map. And, when it comes down to both these squads, we got a chance to see Hive rock out yesterday, and they lost that undefeated record that they have, I believe. So in the end, they are still our defending majors, our defending mid-split playoff champions here in Hive, having to go up against F&I. But let's dive into our picks and bans for this series, Jacob, because like I said before, it's going to be a difficult one between both these squads. But, when I was thinking about this one the other day, and I was sitting there and I was like, man, how is this one going to go? F&I, they've had their woes lately. They haven't looked as powerful as they have in the past. And Hive, the return of Jefe, a player who went to winners bracket finals with him and was a round away from going to the grand finals under that Hive banner. We know he can play, but what about how can he's going to play with this team? I say all that to say that I'm leaning towards Fire and Ice in his matchup. I think F&I, they come out hotter rather than cold, and they play very aggressive against this Hive roster. And Hive, we got to see some of that patience that we've seen in the mid-split playoffs, them waiting for their opponents to kind of play into them, playing at that perfect pace. I know it's going to be a while before they get back there, but that's what they're going to need to do to beat this Fire and Ice team today, I think.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. This new roster of Hive. I would say the silver lining, though, does come in with Jefe having some familiarity with a lot of these players.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to build that chemistry from the ground up. But I do think because of their rebuilding phase, because of a lot of differences, a lot of big shoes to fill, I don't think it's going to be all up to Jefe. I know I put that unfair pressure when TJ was over on that United roster back when it was 5v5. I think they're really going to have to find themselves. And I think that takes time. That's something we're talking about with some of these rosters. And I think Fire and Ice are really going to take advantage of that. And they're really going to find some scenarios to get those mismatch opportunities and play aggressive from there. So I think Fire and Ice is going to take this series 2-1, 2-0. No matter what, they got it.
All right. So me and Jacob are both going towards Fire and Ice. And thankfully, production let me change my pick in the first series. We all have been aligned. Will we be aligned for the final map? Who is the chat picking? Who do you guys want to see win this series? F&I, Hive?
I'm like, okay.
You guys are smart. We're all aligned today.
Attention.
It could be an easy Wednesday of Gears Esports, but Hive can ruin all of our plans and say, forget you guys' perfect record. We plan on shaking it up today, and we are here for it. Okay, shake it up. All right, shake it up for us. Take down F9. Show us what you're made out of, folks. We're about to hop into map number 1 here soon. But as we head here to District, Jacob, what are you expecting here out of Hive to stop this F9 team, who we know plays so aggressive on this map?
Well, I just need to figure out, no matter where these players are at, what new positions they might be playing. I talk about it on a map like Foundation. It's very, very similar on District as well. The center portion of the map and being able to control it opens up options for you, especially when there's not very many weapons scattered around the map to pick up, to go after. Once you get that center of the map, you can overextend bottom half of the map, go home hill for home hill. You can attack the juice. You can go towards the up top. The options are endless. It's about being on the same page and executing. I want to see Hive do exactly that. You might be rocking a new roster, but your game plan, your strategy, it has to be very much the same. You can't go ahead and skip a beat just because somebody is filling it.
All right, here we go. Hive, Fire and Ice, our final matchup of the night. We're kicking it off on District. It's your boys, God Blazing PR, coming at you guys live. Make sure you strap in, get a drink, because this one I know is going to deliver. Inzem Xploidz off the kickoff, and Inzem is going to be able to get a nice kill there on Xploidz, and Fearzly trapped in a corner, but has support coming in from Juice. And I like the route he took to get away from him, but does not survive. And Hive is 1 kill away from an early trip cap domination in the round as 2 players hop on top of B and says, I double dog dare you. I know we love you over here at Hive, but this ain't your battle.
They're not even giving him a chance there. Now he has to hop over. Good communication so far, not to just throw your lives away, but unable to get the decap. And Hive honestly surprised even me. I talked about the middle of the map strategy. They played right into it. I think they might have put 3 players over at the bottom half of the map. They got the early lantern down. I think it was Inzem who actually got credited for that down to come through, and you kind of saw it. They swarmed both the juice and the home hill immediately, leaving Toady by himself to kind of play defense. Toady's just hoping his teammates get a trade, get a kill, so that way he can finally make a move.
Beautiful initial there from Unc and Nephew right there, kicking off a Hive, leading the top of the kill feed. I do believe that's going to be TJ and Jefe rocking out to kick this series off. Both talks are going to be down on the map. Let's see what type of breakout initial we're going to get. We saw a lot of focus down low at bandstand between both these squads. Two starts, sending 2 players towards the middle. Both teams reading this strategy very, very well, not even giving the B fight any attention. Xploidz misses the shot, gets stunned for a second time, but Fearzly gets the down. No revive is there, but he will find a kill. And that's all he can ask for in this moment. Home hill getting decapped. Well, luckily enough for the Fire and Ice fans, Toady has kind of overextended the map just a bit to buy time for his teammates, but now he knows that he's going to have to fight this battle down low. Another battle in which he cannot win. Hive dominate the first 2 rounds.
I feel like this is mirror rounds. Did somebody hit rewind and rewatch the first round yet again? The same strategy coming out from Hive, attacking the bottom portions of the map, opening up the middle, and as soon as they got that first elimination, you saw it. They go through the juice, they go through the home hill, leaving Toady by himself. And then the way they're capturing that hill, they're forcing Toady to actually peek out. They're not giving easy shots where it's a 1 or 2 shot down. They're making him use everything in his clip, leaving nothing left over to get the actual elimination. So Fire and Ice, they need to figure out a way to defend the middle portions of the map. With that sniper going down, you don't have to fight it anymore. You go straight up top. This is exactly the fight I thought Hive was going to put down, but it's interesting to see it coming forced out of Fire and Ice early.
Yeah, Fire and Ice, they're trying to group these players, making it easy on themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if Hive puts a power weapon down low on the next round, but this one is being dominated by F&I. First blood, power weapon, 2nd kill acquired. 3 members down in total on the side of Hive. Is up to Jefe to stay alive as he's going to be backing up briefly. Nice flash from him. He knows he has help from a teammate, but knows that he can't get to his home hill in time. He just has to defend it. F&I looking to close this round out. They're in a good position to do so. Quick revive, but the retro lancer from Toady is being annoying here for these Hive members. Solurs, we've seen him make great plays in the past, but this is not going to be one of those situations. He's thinking about the next.
that sniper going down. It really changed up the plays. That's kind of what I thought we were going to see coming out of District. I thought Fire and Ice, though, was going to have the upper hand in a lot of these plain rounds. Like I said, taking the middle portions of the map, I knew it was going to be a key for victory for one of these teams. I kind of was hoping Hive would do it, and they did take the first 2 rounds. But now with that sniper down, you're forcing that team fight. And if Xploidz is able to get that in his hands and begin to heat up with it, it could be lights out for Hive. But it's just a matter of Fire and Ice. Can they peel it together? Can they put it together when it matters most?
Sniper, Retro Lancers, Botox, Talons, all on the map, but the big battle is for the scope. Hive sent 3 this round. Fire and Ice sent 2 mid-map. FA has to hold off that fight, but his teammates will be able to get the scope now. They have to defend the flank. Dyslexic, watch out, because Inzem staring right at your head, but the flank from Xploidz comes through, picks up the kill. TJ survives. Sniper, it's going to be on his back, out of play. 2 members from Fire and Ice in this area, but they got to deal with TJ. TJ gets 2 bricks, knows the wrap shot's coming through, but could not connect on the second. Jefe, can you make the play? Can you avenge your blood brother? But in the end, he's going to focus on capping the hill. Isolates the 1v1, but too much team fire coming through from F and I. Still, the B hill not captured.
That shot over the cover from Dyslexic was huge. It made that Lancer so much easier, put the pressure on that player. Now they're going to get the cap on towards B. These rounds weren't as fast as they once were, as each team's kind of adapting, making little adjustments each second that passes. They see Fire and Ice. They were going forward for a moment, but forced back, really to backtrack. TJ, oh my God, goes for an up A, accidentally hops over the cover, and Fearzly makes that one look easy, because it simply was.
Now, F and I, they have the setup in which they want. The next power weapon won't be up for a while, but in this given moment, F and I, man, hey, they're not tripping. They're in a prime position to pick it up. Now, let's focus on Hive. As they're rotating down low mid-map through Bandstand, you see Dyslexic there with the spy. He's going to stay in that corner. No one knows he's there just yet. Prime opportunity, big capitalization on him. He's going to be able to get the rotation towards the home hill, but did not want to help on the fight on Inzem. But Inzem, he's going to fall. I love the force on the trip cap domination. Focus your opponents on one area of the map. And Solurs make the play? Not in time. F and I, they're going to tie this one all up 2-2.
Second too late on Soul. I don't know. Hey, this survivability on actually, you know, staying alive. I know he gets the decap there. I know he possibly gets the decap coming out, bouncing around in a 1v1 exchange. Right? Yeah, it's definitely possible, but the timing on that one was definitely not on the side, and would love to hear the communication, if there was any at all, putting that pressure and making it important for him to know.
What I want to see is a power weapon down low. I want to see Hive get this back down to base. I want to see him get a presence down at Bandstand, because I personally feel that grouped up team fights like 3v3 battles sometimes favor the team with more experience, right? You got all these people in the area of the map who know how to trap these guys, but on the flip end, I think that, you know, you play base strategy man on man in some scenarios. Let the individual plays shine and let these players come out, rotate, get the angles that they need. But we can debate about that one all day, but we can't debate about who's going to win this team fight, as we're about to find out momentarily. As the first kill comes through, it's a team kill, but quickly made up for as 3 kills come through on the side of F and I. They get the scope as well. Jefe has to disengage, put himself in a better position to defend his side of the map. And he wants more. He knows he needs to get the E hill. It got capped up, so he's gonna have to sacrifice his life. His timing was off just a bit. Hive, can they stay in the hill? Xploidz, big can't do it. We're gonna continue this round.
I was about to say, no, don't do it. My heart cannot take a move like that going down in a 1v2 scenario. Fire and Ice, though, they lock down the 2 hills. Sniper not in play anymore, though. Tody does have a lance. Fearzly gets taken out, so it does look like Hive, they're trying to attack the home hill of Fire and Ice, trying to put a stop into the 2-to-1 point gain as well. TJ pressing forward, though, realizing how important the positioning is. We talk about it all the time. Backtracks, big shot being fired out, but he's in a 1v2 situation. This is not one that is going to come easy, and it actually does get ended there as they get that flank on him, making sure that he can't come out alive. That was going to be Fearzly doing just that. Now they set their eyes on towards this neutral. 2 more downs on both Solurs and Jefe. This is looking good for Fire and Ice.
Looking damn good indeed, as they're capping up the neutral hill. And look at the mini-map, folks. The presence on their side of map. 2 players towards Juice, 1 down towards Hotel. but they also recognize that the rotations are coming through top cinema. They needed to make sure they defend that home hill, as they will do just that. They got the intel, made the right rotation, and they find 2 kills here in the late game. The setup is there. How the hell is Hive going to get out this difficult spot?
Have the 3 players kind of stacked down low for Fire and Ice. So honestly, they just have to make sure nobody slips by. They need to make sure to solidify these eliminations. If they figure out a way to get a man-up scenario, they could probably try to lock down a player, but they're wasting so much time. Less than 15 seconds remain as long as the 2 hills stay captured. And it's honestly even less than that, because we talk about 246 has to be the time you get in the hill. Inzem thinking about it for a moment, but too much damage being thrown out from the retro, from the pistol. Nobody is even given a chance to get any of these decaps, as Fire and Ice are going to win their 3rd round. It's their 3rd straight round as well.
And, you know, as a Hive fan, it sucks that you end off on that screen, because you see all these players alive and no one's on top of the E hill. They're capped up. You're like, we got to turn this one around, because F&I, they found the win condition. If we know anything, the way you stop them is to go to bandstand. F&I frantically put that sniper up top, because they were like, yo, we're losing battles. We're losing 1v1s. We don't got these guys grouped up. They were feeling flustered, so they put the scope up top. But Hive feels that they could win this engagement. If they don't win at this initial, I think they're crazy. I think they're insane, because, well, you know, you do the same thing over and over and over, and if it don't work, a little insanity here. But sometimes you need some insanity here to win some fights in Gears of War. So you need just a little bit of crazy, just a little bit. But the shot
strategy from Hive a few times. Back during that mid-split playoffs, they're changing the positioning on this strategy, because it was kind of Solurs down low during that mid-split playoff. This time around, it is going to be Inzem. They get the 2 hills early, and they're trying to put it all onto the scoreline. Dyslexic is taking a 1v1 against TJ. Immediately, Dyslexic goes down 1v2 scenario. Xploidz needs to figure out a way to stay alive with that sniper, because you know Fire and Ice, they're going to try to tack down low. They're able to get the elimination on 1, looking to try to make it 2 as Jefe runs and hides. So that's going to be a 3v1. Possibly a 3v2 opportunity. Jefe just needs to find a way to get to his team.
Yeah, if he can. He has a nice little route mid-map, but he knows that the E-hill is going to get capped soon. I like Jefe's rotation. He's just waiting for player 6 to get in position, and he is just taking his time. Hive have identified 3 members in the spawn, so they know where Toady is as well. Hive could make the play, but they don't get the kills on top of the hill. Well, as I say that, Solurs finds one, gets blocked by the mate shield, and cannot get the little wrap shot on the ankle there off the side. But down low in this engagement, Hive will win the 2v1. Now, their next task is capping E, defending a home hill. Xploidz has 2 shots left in the scope. We'll see what type of impact he can have with that.
Finally, the capture is going to come through for Hive, so they're going to be able to build on the lead that they already have, 40+ points in counting. And I haven't seen any big plays come out with Xploidz and the sniper just yet, but with 2 more bullets in the chamber, anything is possible. Trying to line up a shot, misses yet that one. Solurs goes down towards the top half, so that hill is going to go over to Fire and Ice. This is their opportunity to get back into this one. At least make it a tie game before the moves are made for the team of Hive. But a big down coming through on TJ. That's going to prevent the push coming through. Xploidz going for a decap. So talk about that lead. It's going to go bye-bye here in just a moment. As soon as that decap does come through, that makes that up top 2v2 fight so important. Toady gets left by himself. I think that was Dyslexic running all the way back, trying to get into a better positioning, probably gearing up for the next sniper as well.
Hog has the win condition. Dyslexic gets the down. He knows this player is not in position, but he has help from a teammate. Misses the second shot, takes a lot in the back, trying to decide if he wanted to commit, but TJ focuses on him. Snipers is going to be out of play as Dyslexic going to the respawn. But even more importantly for the Hive fans, they know that the decap needs to come through. They stay aggressive. They get past the shock. A little too late there for Xploidz to win the round. If he throws that 2 seconds earlier, they close it out.
It already changed with the 1 hill.
Yeah, it
2 more
changed
eliminations
home.
towards the low side. That was big. He needed to throw that shock sooner, like you said. There is no way you see those 2 guys head downing and your thought isn't initially, let's throw the shock. It's that late in the game.
You missed the mark. You don't miss the mark there. You just need 5 seconds at least. Get it down. The shock holds its position for about 7 before it evaporates, but not evaporates. It's not water, but you guys know what I'm saying. But in the end, let's see. Hive, they win that round. It's all tied up 3-3. So they love the strategy in which they, I guess, is on the map. But I feel like they play this cinema fight too scared. And if you give Xploidz and Dyslexic too many free snipers, you will be regretting it. But Hive want to catch up in this placement. As they should. Well, they already caught up on the secondaries. They have their nades down low, and this could get them map point, okay, by utilizing an incendiary grenade in this moment and slowing down a sniper pickup. Let's see if they got it.
Once again, different strategies coming out from Hive. They slowed it down last round, played for points. This time they want to go back to that brawl that is towards the top side where the sniper is located. You see shock. I don't really like the placement of that shock, but sometimes you just got to throw it and hope for the best. TJ stuck in this spot. Honestly, neither team really having a full-on advantage. You got to give it up to Hive just a little bit because of the positioning at which they're at. But Inzem, he's getting over aggressive, gets the down and kill onto one. It was actually a team down from Fearzly. Inzem goes down. Fearzly is speeding up those kills, and there it goes. Jefe falls as well. It's not looking good, but the run from Fearzly has definitely come to an end. But this is going to come down to a 2v2 here. Both Toady and Dyslexic with Xploidz off spawn versus almost every member of Hive off spawn if they could buy the time for those rotations to come through. But there it goes, Toady.
Jefe capped it. He crawled and capped it and died at the right time. Perfect timing for Jefe, because I was asking myself, I was like, are they going to be able to get over there and get the revive on him? But he says, I don't need y'all. Focus on the fight. Focus on the fight, as they will get a slight lead from capping that hill. But it's nice, even if it's a 20-point lead, gives you some peace of mind coming off respawn, knowing that you got some time to work with. Xploidz is the focus, took his opponent's incendiary grenade, almost connected with that one, but he's gonna fall. And now Hive knows that they need to swarm, react quickly, take their numbers. They do just that. 4v2 advantage on the map. Jefe, he says, this ain't my fight. I got help coming around the corner. If you want to deal with me, you got to deal with TJ as well.
They got to figure out a back This kill on the juice on Inzem is important. Now you work together. Your teammates are coming off of respawn. You do have a man up. Just figure out where your next target is at and figure out a way to solidify it as a team. You know the rotation came down low. You know two players are down low. It confuses me why Xploidz is not overextending to get the decap on the hill. There's no way those players did not see the rotation come through.
No way, right? They had to have seen it, Jacob, but you know, as we see here, they did not. So as we come on through, 40-point lead here for the boys of Hive. So currently in a good spot for them. They got the E-Hill locked in, but as we look at the mini-map, they have to win this fight inside Juice. On screen, Inzem has the 1v1 against Toady. He gets crossed out, and F&I with the home hill setup and their positioning on the map. They're in a winning position right here to get to that round number 4 first. But my questions is, when is the incendiary grenade coming up? We got the answer on the sniper. So I would say about 20 more seconds. Hive will have that incendiary grenade to work with at E if they need it. But more importantly, they need to get their home hill back as soon as possible. And F&I is not letting that happen. Can Solurs make the perfect play? He has rotated around. You got help coming as well. They need a decap at the last possible second, but Xploidz takes out Jefe, Dyslexic takes out Solurs, and Hive knows there's nothing which they can do in this round. F&I, they continue to work that fight up top. They are dominating cinema, and I'm going to say it again, folks. Coming on this weapon placement, Hive has shock, incendiaries on their secondary. If they do not spread this map out again, the key to their success in the first 2 to 3 rounds was the spread and that base strategy. If they don't do that, I think they were asking to lose this map.
There goes the first disable coming out, though. Like you talked about both for the utilities. It does look like they're going to answer with a disable of their own, though. Do you agree with that at all? I know you're talking about spreading the plays out. I think you almost got to answer lock for lock, no?
Yeah, you have to do lock. You got to do lock for lock. But if you've been losing a fight and they have a shock grenade, you get a free power weapon down low.
True.
I also don't think Hive is going to fight for this fight. We see 3 players going over there, but let's see if it goes their way. They almost won it last time. They are adjusting round by round, so I won't say that they've been bad every single time they fought it. They haven't been winning the fight. Let's see if this will be the round they come out on top. Multiple downs come through. Dyslexic trying to split the seas between multiple players. He will find it out and will be able to clean up on another kill secure. This is a 2v2 fight, 1v1 mid-map. 2 players coming off the respawn. So far, tie game. Power weapon in the hands of TJ. So Hive, they finally get the leg up in that battle. Now let's see what they can do with the weapon.
See him rotating it all the way down low. You can see Toady here. This could be a big elimination for Toady to get that sniper out of play. He took a big shot, though. 2 players are there. A flash grenade to try to buy time. Rolls the wrong direction. Gets taken out. How quick can Hive answer to try to figure out, do you neutralize the home hill? Do you go down south to try to get the neutral? Big shots from Inzem, and that wasn't even with the sniper, so it's going to make it a little bit easier. They need to attack these hills, bait out the play. Fearzly down low has nothing but a retro. If you take your 2-man, overstack it down low, that could be a possibility as Cody fights for his home hill back. Fearzly backtracks just a little bit, knowing he can't die here in this situation. So even though there's 2 hills in favor of Hive, F&I is clearly set up for a return play. It's just a matter of which play is it, where do they attack, and how long does it take.
They're going to be focusing on Bandstand. Fearzly and Dyslexic take a lot of damage. Revive is there. They got a clear focus on their fight, but they have to watch out from the scope and the support fire from Solurs there in the middle with that Lancer. E-Hill locked in for Hive, but with Bandstand control, they know that has to be the focus. Solurs goes in for the 1 shot, but couldn't get it. Puts his put this E-Hill fate in TJ's hand. That was a beautiful back A. I wouldn't push that after that one, but they know that they have the man advantage and they will clean up the kill. Hive looking good to get us to round number 9, but F&I making plays on multiple portions of the map. That's a shutdown from TJ. Hive can slow this game down now a bit.
Yep, you see at the top of the map, Xploidz. I was looking like he was trying to be as sneaky as possible, but Solurs catches him slipping. He goes down. Honestly, there's just not enough time. I don't think there's enough time for Fire and Ice in this round. I think we're going to see a round number 9.
Solurs.
I love the attempts every time.
He tried to bounce around in circles, tried to whirl star him a bit for a second. I thought he had the new scope out. But we are going to that round number 9, folks. It's Hive and F&I. I told you guys. It was gonna be a good one. You know Blaze got your back. You know I would never lie to you guys at home, right? Right? All right, cool.
I trust you too much for you to lie to me. You tell me to turn left, I'll turn left. It doesn't matter if there's a hole in the ground, a wall there. I'll close my eyes and listen.
And that's why we've been casting our ass off all night, Jacob, because of that trust right there that we built in the first season of Gears 5 doing the pro league.
Like when we play Gears, you tell me to go, I'll go. You want me to go in and sacrifice my life? I'll sacrifice my life.
Hey, just know it's for the greater good. Just know
exactly.
I got a game
I'm a team player, man.
If you second guess me, the play might not work. It's coming in so fast, but we'll see what type of quick reactions and plays our players on our screen is going to have. It's a 3-man overload for F&I. The incendiary grenade, both Inzens are getting picked up here for Hive. So I love that play. Inzem stacked up. The sniper's not picked up. 2 players disengaged, but Jefe needs to figure out what his rotation is and where his guy is going to be. In the end, E-Hill is about to get capped up. Hive will have bandstand control and 2 incendiary grenades to work with. Let's see what they want to do from this defensive position. And let's see how Hive is going to break this setup.
If there's any round right now that you need Xploidz to just go off with the sniper, it's this round right here, right and now, round number 9. I haven't seen any massive game-changing plays just yet. Maybe some body shots here and there, but there it goes. The shot I was looking for gets the headshot on a TJ, making Dyslexic's life a little bit easier, and he gets the spot on the Solurs, so no sneaky plays. Tries to go for the body shot on Inzem. If he lands this shot, his teammates will swarm. They know they need this elimination. There goes the bait. They're trying to give him the necessary shots, and there it goes. Another elimination for Fire and Ice.
His flame was too deep. I know Inzem is mad at that one. He want a little bit of that flame on the stairs so he can get that damage as those players push him and buy himself some time. The flash stun, I like the effort there from Jefe, the creativity, but he could not get behind the second level of cover. At this moment, F&I, they have full map control, counting the numbers. Quick shot from Dyslexic. He disengaged, and that's 2 snipers now in the hand of Fire and Ice. They're feeling comfortable. TJ's getting hit with multiple weapons, multiple body shots. F&I won't even let him rotate around the map. And at this moment, Hive, they're pretty much at their Hive, and they don't got no work on their list just yet.
One way to take out a Beehive is, throw the whole thing on fire.
Smoke them out,
Fire and
right?
Ice yeah, exactly. Smoke them out.
Corral them and smoke them out.
Those plays right now coming through, they're going to have to attack at 2 sides at once. What makes this so hard, though, is exactly what you mentioned. The 2 snipers in the hands of Fire and Ice, but there's only 3 bullets between the two. Only one in the hands of Xploidz. So if he misses that shot, that's going to be a crucial missed shot. He's not going to have the Lancer to back it up with some port fire, but Toady gets a big elimination onto TJ. This late in the game, that could be it.
Ooh, Dyslexic beat him to the punch, but he could not recover as Hive now has both of their opponents' home heals. And that's what it, it sucks to have double snipes on the map. You look one way, pressure comes another. But Hive, with 3 members alive and the clock ticking, 10 seconds to make it towards E, or they're losing map number 1. Who's going to make the play? And player 6 ain't leaving spawn. He says, yo, it's a wrap. Chalk it up. F and I win map number 1. Oh, what a fantastic performance there for F&I. And it all came down to the sniper fight up top at Cinema. You see, they won the fight 5 out of 7 rounds, and they completely dominated that area of the map. Hive had no answer for them. And F&I will strike first. 15 kills, 14 assists, and 10 deaths for your man Fearzly at the top of your screen.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, though, on the side of Hive, like we were talking about. Those first 2 rounds, they were so aggressive towards the low portion of the map. They caught Fire and Ice off guard, but ever since they won those 2 rounds, they stayed away from that strategy. I think only 1 round after that, with that sniper being placed down, did Hive send somebody down low on the initial. That's when they went for that point game. They sent Inzem down low to get that early cap, and they played it out from there. So I'm kind of scratching my head. What was the weapon placement? Who was making those shot calls? They were just confident in that fight in which they weren't winning.
That's what I was, you heard me harp about it the entire map. Just because I feel this way. Any team in our pro league who puts a power weapon down within the first 3 rounds of a map, it's one of 2 reasons. Number 1, that's the only side of the map they know how to play, and that's where all their strategies are, and they feel super comfortable there, and they know what they want, so they get it. Number 2, you're scared. You've been getting your butt kicked. You don't want to play that no more. You're trying to get away from it. And that's what they did by placing a sniper down. They got away from those first 2 engagements and never had to look back. Hive did not assess that fear on the side of F&I, and they gave them a fight in which they were completely comfortable in. I would have loved to just see Hive dominate both incendiaries in the late half, but it's no home hills down there. It's just the E hill, so you're only going to get 1. In the end, F&I had a way better strategy. They lock in map number 1, but it ain't over yet, folks. We still got map number 2 to go towards, and this was a close one. Let's not take that away from Hive. This was a close map, but we'll see if they can fare better in map number 2 as we head on over towards Exhibit. And man, only team I think is gonna mess with F&I on Exhibit is E United.
I will say, though, since we were talking about that big weapon going down low, changing the fight up, this and that, Exhibit's going to be one of those maps where you kind of have a fight that suits Hive. I wouldn't say more so than Fire and Ice, but it does suit them and their play style just a little bit more than a map like District. Like I said, that was an off-host map, so now it's almost a must-win scenario for Hive if they want to keep it going. I mean, obvious, you're down 1-0. It's only 3 maps total, besides it being your map pick. So you got to figure out a way to keep this match as one-dimensional as possible. I know it's going to be hard, especially if something does get placed up top. We know how Fearzly likes to play, but you need to make it to as clear-cut to where Jefe and the rest of the team, they don't have to overthink rotations. They don't have to overthink strategies, simple flash throws, so on and so forth. You want to make it to where Jefe just kind of has to roll out a spawn and just fill a spot on the map and then go from there.
Yeah, play up off his teammates' aggression, make his teammates some of the best players on the map and highlight their positive qualities. And we've seen Jefe do that in the past. Like I said before, he made a losers finals with his team, and he was only a few rounds away from going to a grand final. So he can definitely do just that and even more. Now, I'm looking for Hive to let Inzem off his leash. All right. But if Inzem's playing that 1v1 spot up top, let him set the pace. Let him apply pressure to Fearzly every single round. But if I know anything about Fearzly, he might be getting kind of excited about this 1v1 matchup that's going to be happening up there, because both these players know how important that position is, and they both play it very, very aggressively. So we'll see how that engagement breaks down. But, if you are a Hive fan, you hope that Inzem goes off here as we head towards Exhibit. And I liked everything you said there about Hive on this map. F&I, they play this so fast. As soon as they get kills, they're already in your lobby. They are eyeing the spawn, And that's why you need that aggression up top, and you're going to need Inzem to go off, because if the fights are lost down low, he's going to have to overextend some of these rounds.
And this is where I almost wonder, obviously, we're going to find out here in just a few short moments. Is there a world, because of the changes and the chemistry that you already have with that core three, do you throw Jefe up top, you kind of let him stalemate it out, and let Inzem and his slaying power go down low and try to affect those fights? That's something that, I'm kind of questioning. It could be a strategy that Hive has in the back of their mind. Maybe you do send Inzem up there at the start and change it up as needed. There's a lot of opportunity for Hive to really surprise FNI due to strategies, due to things like that. But, like you said, how fast they play, it's not going to be quick for them to catch on.
Yeah, and that's a great question, right? If this was Harbor, I would say maybe, right? Maybe they switched that out. But because it's Exhibit, I think that 1v1 lane is one of the most important spots on the map. Even from just getting that Lancer to cross down low, catching players as they're trying to run away from those lower lanes. That guy up top does a lot for his team. And he needs to understand when he needs to press forward and when he needs to back up and hold that Lancer. And that's difficult sometimes. But when you do lose that team fight, if you don't have a savage there, a fast player that knows how to hold A and get in your opponent's face and take that battle on a home hill, then you may get trip cap dominated a lot, because that means that he's backing up, trying to wait for you to come off respawn and get some help when he needs to be making a play.
Exactly. We talk about, the mismatch, creating time, putting that pressure on, because sometimes when you put that pressure on, it's not to get the elimination. It's simply to draw multiple members over towards you to make your teammates' lives on a certain hill, certain position, certain location, even a weapon, a lot easier. So it's going to be a big push and pull on this map, simply because of that 1v1 that you talked about. Because we even see sometimes off of initial, some teams will throw a trick out from under their sleeve and send 2 players up top if they know somebody is getting a little over aggressive, if they know that they can bait somebody in for some early damage. And we know Inzem is one of those players to where he does sometimes will get that help up top. Sometimes Fearzly will get that help up top, especially when a grenade or maybe a sniper does get placed up top, because I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen either.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it gets placed up there. That way you can kind of force the fight every single round. And I will say that if I'm on the side of FNI, and you are right, Jacob, and for some reason Jefe is playing up top in the upper lane and not Inzem, hell, put the frag there. Okay, put the frag there, play up on him. Force him to have to play around the lasers, take those advantages. And I know Fearzly, man, as long as he has something to play around, as long as he has an objective to play around, he's dominant. He knows how to get the most out of the current situation that both players are playing for. So he would not mind that engagement whatsoever. All right, folks, we're waiting for 2 players to get in the lobby, and then we'll be all popped off to start map number 2. All right, so don't worry about it. They know this is the last match of the night. They probably aren't in their clothes tomorrow. Who knows? But they should just be focused on this match right now.
Yep.
Okay, as we get ready to head into map 2.
I'm going to say, I know we're talking about Jefe. It's just simply because he's the new guy on the block right now, and not necessarily new to the scene, but new to being added to this roster. Like we talked about, he does have that chemistry is there, but the game has definitely evolved. Last time he was on the roster, it was still 5v5 going down. So a lot of things have changed, and what you do have that you can still build off of is that trust in one another that we talk about, when
communication,
the communication, all those aspects that you have there, and you begin to kind of relearn the meta, relearn your actual position within the team. And that's very, very important, is the necessary time. So yeah, there might be a few weeks, a few matches, a few moments where Jefe and the rest of Hive might slow down. They might look like they're regressing, but that's just because you're learning something new. You're learning how to figure out the movements around the map with a new player, these initial fights, retake fights. There's so many different intricacies that go down, and it's a whole new player. So it does take time to kind of fill in those holes, learn the new things, and make sure that your practice is definitely worthwhile. So like I said, it might be unfortunate, the opponents they're running into at this point in time, but that they kind of make the back half of their season a little bit easier once they do bring it together.
Yeah, they definitely got to bring it together, because I will say that Jefe may traditionally play spots that Solurs has been currently playing for this Hive roster. And Solurs have been having an MVP season since the mid-split playoffs. So you really want to take him out those positions and have to change his timing, force him to learn new spots when he's been locking it down so well. But, hey, we'll see what happens and what decision in which they make, okay? Because you got a talented player in Solurs who has been fragging out so hard where he can go to the forefront of the fight and be there next to Inzem and TJ and help be between both those players. But I think Jefe is completely fine in that position as well, being able to make sure he can highlight the two and be there in the fight to support them. And we will see how that all breaks down over this next 2 weeks as we get ready for the major with both these teams.
Yeah, honestly, I love you for that, Blaze. The way you kind of broke that down, the way the spots are actually getting switched up, because we're talking about, Jefe going into this, filling out new spots, a new bit of a roster. And the kind of same goes for Solurs, like you said. He has to figure out new spots, new timing, new ways to attack, honestly, new ways to play these situations. So, like I said, Hive, they're going through a little bit of a rebuilding phase. I wouldn't count them out just yet. I know that major's just right around the corner. Would you say 14th through the 17th or through the 16th? So they got a full couple of weeks left and even a couple of days before they are up against the wall, facing elimination there on what could be Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. A few of these squads are going to be putting in extra practice over these next 2 weeks, getting ready for the major. And it feels like the mid-split playoffs was just yesterday, right? It really feels like it was just yesterday, but we are already entering our next major. And I cannot say how much I love this format here that we got over these last 2 seasons of Gears Esports. The way UMG and the coalition has been running it has been flawless. And we have seen the path of pro work out fantastically, but also we got content 5 days a week, big broadcast here for Gears. So Gears fans, between the streamers out there on Twitch and all of our matches that we have here, it is something to watch for us all. But don't worry, folks. Map number 2 is loading up right now. We got something for you to watch. It's what you all been waiting for. Hive versus Fire and Ice. We are here on Exhibit. F&I took map number 1 in a 5-4 fashion. It was really close if you're just joining us. And this one may go the same way, but it's depending on where is Hive going to be playing. And off the start, we will have Inzem in his normal positioning. Solurs with a nice first blood to kick this one off.
So, answers have been giving. Everybody kind of in their normal spots, or at least seemingly so off this initial. Solurs was able to get first blood, immediately goes down though. Jefe sacrificing his life, trying to keep him up, and Solurs finding a way to escape for a moment, and he gets that elimination. Those are big plays, and it comes off the back of Jefe being the sacrifice needed.
And hey, sometimes, you got to do what you got to do to highlight your teammates. And Jefe says, hey, I'll give up my life any day for the 3 soldiers on my squad. These 3 champions here. TJ gets a nice shot, but he has to respect the play on his right. He realizes that he's distracted. So TJ knows I got my health back. I can get back into action as he locks in the kill. Focus fire coming down from cave side is dyslexic. Xploidz, can they stay alive? They get some help towards mid-map just in time, and TJ stays close enough for a revive, but in the end, the Lancer fire coming in from Toady proving to be way too much for Hive.
Xploidz not wasting any time. Xploidz doesn't continue to advance. Him even taking that route puts it in F's mind that I have to get off this cover, which allows him to get Lancered. And now he's going to backtrack, realizing, hey, I don't need to get over aggressive, bite off more than they can chew. We did get the 2 hills. Now we have a chance to set up. But this is something we talked about, that overextension towards the top half of the map, trying to spread out the numbers in the defense of Fire and Ice. It's going to be both, I think, TJ and Inzem making this overextension come through.
Now, Fire and Ice has 2 players defending the spawn. This is a 2v2 fight on both sides of the map. F&I with the advantage, so we know that Hive going to spring into action very soon because they don't want this lead to grow even more. No action happening just yet, but they're looking for something specific. They're discussing it. When do they want to go? They're trying to see if their teammates on the other end can win the fight, but they're going to start it right now, knowing they can't waste any more time. And the team fight is won by F&I on the opposite end, but Inzem, TJ, this is a crucial battle for them. A big down coming through, but now bigger decisions. 2 separate 1v1s on each end of them. The trip cap domination is here. Unless player 3 can win the fight, he doesn't make it to the hill in time. F&I will strike first.
And it really did all start first blood with Solurs, and it did look like Fire and Ice were answering back, but Jefe, right revive at the right time, didn't allow double kill to come through. They got positioning towards the bottom, forced the members of Hive at the top half of the map from there, at least should say Fire and Ice, and that overextension, it actually did work out for them, which I'm a little bit surprised. There, it was a well-placed shot grenade or flash grenade over the top to try to disrupt it, but because of Fire and Ice winning the other side of the map, like you said, it allowed that third player to rotate over and disrupt that fight.
Let's see what type of adjustments Hive's gonna make coming into this round. F&I felt really comfortable there. They know that this is their map, and they have honestly folded some teams and put them in a clinic on this map in the past. So Hive trying to defend themselves against that and keep it close. Botox picked up both squads in the center. Xploidz. He knows Solurs is there, but those Botox will connect. And Jefe will get that first blood, but F&I got a 2v1 of their own. They want to fight. Hive is doing a good job disengaging, staying alive.
Versus Fearzly here. Did extend to the Fire and Ice side up top. TJ gonna win that exchange against Toady. So it does look like almost mirrored rounds with Fire and Ice winning those initials almost aggressively to Hive now winning these initials, getting 2 hills in their control with 2 members dead as well. It's gonna kind of force them to kind of stop as much as possible. Fearzly's already up top. A player can even try to overextend, especially with Inzem pushing up, but Hive, they have that presence down low. It's more of an aggressive setup to where they have to waste the utility just to get their own portion of the map back.
Toady trying to get that down on Solurs. He heard the call out quickly, got to his positioning, but 2-to-1 hill set up for Hive. They got 2 players down low defending the B hill, trying to count the numbers of their opponent. I think they finally identified as being 3 down low, but they quickly make it a 3v2 fight in their favor. Jefe with the Botox connects on the second, misses the third, drops his meat shield, but gets the help in time. You see the pinch from TJ. Gonna save his life, and Solurs is gonna clean up the kills. So they do a good job playing around Jefe right there. And so far, so good for Hive and their fans as they have a 50-point lead, but the round is not over yet.
Big plays, overextension towards the top can open up some opportunities here for Fire and Ice, but every second that passes is gonna close that window as TJ stuck between a rock and a hard place. He finally goes down. They're going to stagger the depth, try to buy Fearzly some time to try to get back into the game, but with less than 15 seconds remaining, 2 hills almost uncontested. This could be game over for Fire and Ice in this round. 1 break is definitely going to come through, but they need the second one as well. They're going to have to hop over some covers, 2v1 Jefe to make it happen. They're actually going to get this touch plays. The decap is going to happen. They get a sneaky play. Solurs towards the back end. No. He's by himself. He has an opportunity with well-placed Botox shots to be the hero that Hive needs.
Yeah, he could, but Xploidz is trying to step into the paint, but it don't matter with that battle being won on a home hill. That was the win. And as we see, Solurs, he's going to win that fight against a little desperate Xploidz there in the late game. Hive, they get us all tied up 1-1. Now, so far, the initial to kick off these rounds have traded back and forth between both these squads, but the team that actually, No. The team that won initial end up losing the round because Hive won initial in round 1, lost it, and F&I won in the last one here and lost it there. So we'll see how it breaks down coming into this one. Xploidz 5-1, looking good so far.
I wanted to see him heat up with a sniper in the last map, but
yeah, right. But
you know as well as I do. As long as you're hitting those body shots, you know.
And Dyslexic had one as well, so they did double trouble, just keeping as many shots as they could and being annoying in the late game of those rounds. Up top, Inzem versus Fearzly. The flash comes out. Fearzly trying to time it perfectly, but Inzem does a fantastic job getting into a position to defend himself. Fearzly had the mark, so he saw him as well. But down low in this engagement, Solurs and Xploidz mirroring each other. It's going to be Jefe and Toady mirroring each other. And then we got the boys of Dyslexic and Solurs and TJ on the other end. So I like our matchups here. This is man on man, but who's gonna get that first engagement? Now, this is where the battle of the 1v1 comes into play. Where did Inzem uses his name for the first time, moves up, gets away, knowing that his opponent was coming for that wrap shot. He times this perfectly as he wraps around to get his health back. Now in a comfortable position to engage Fearzly in a defensive position, waiting for Inzem to move, but now he has to react. Inzem, how do you want to finish the fight? But Fearzly, with a devastating blow, knows that his lane is open to make a play now.
He's going to take himself out, but TJ gets the trade. Solurs doing what he can as well to take out Xploidz, so it doesn't come for free. And Fearzly, he knows he can't overextend. He knows Jefe is there on the right. He knows Inzem is going to spawn up right in front of him. So if he were to overextend in that situation, he's begging. He's asking to die and get crossed out by the members of Hive. So I would say, luckily, Fire and Ice, they have a little bit of a lead, but a little one indeed that's going to go right out the window if they take too long to try to neutralize this hill. They're doing what they can to push in Solurs out on one side of the map, but that's not going to get them the hill just yet. Nice, well-played flash. That's going to answer back on that positioning, which gives Solurs the advantage, especially since he lands that shot. But a big play coming out from Dyslexic. He's able to get one, gets down by the other, but it was just enough to make that hill change hands.
Just enough indeed. Puts Dyslexic in a 1v1. Jefe has a difficult fight. Got a player pushing his left. Misses the wrap shot right there. B-Hill will stay in favor here of Hive as Jefe is getting timed out there. Solurs trying to make a play in the opposite end. Him and TJ have identified their 2v2 fight. And they got some help there towards the spawn defending their home hill. So F&I is in a great position right where they want to be, but Hive needs a decap soon just to buy themselves some more time in this round. And Inzem does a fantastic job dodging the first bit of shots, but couldn't get the kill. And F&I feeling really confident in this round now.
I'm happy for Dyslexic on the scene. I know we were talking about Ricky, but that man makes everything entertaining. He's not afraid of no casters, curves. Yeah, he's not afraid to let players know that, hey, I'm undefeated against you when it matters. And he gets another kill on Jefe to end that round for Fire and Ice. It made it came too slow, went down to the time, but I do believe they were in control the majority of it.
Yeah, they were. They pretty much were. They really didn't have much pressure for them. Now, it flipped at the 150 mark, okay? Flipped at that 150 mark where Hive where F&I got that lead. But on the flip end, you know, they did a fantastic job with their control up top, getting Fearzly on their opponent's side of the map, identifying that they had the man advantage, and it worked out, right? And we talked about how important that 1v1 lane was when it comes down to being victorious here and being a dominant team on Exhibit. And the battle between Fearzly and Inzem has been a treat to watch there in those scenarios when it is a stalemate. But here we go. It's round number 4. Can Hive get us all tied up 2-2, or is F&I just gonna run away with this one? Xploidz ain't wasting no time in his engagement up top with Inzem. It is 2. Inzem makes the call out. TJ drops back right away. Jefe cannot escape, but Hive, they might give up this B hill. They gotta push him out. Yeah.
Jefe going down. You saw multiple members of Hive trying to backtrack because of the 2 players up top. Jefe, he couldn't have gone down because now those players down low, they can be aggressive. They have a man advantage as long as they stalemate wherever that 2v2 is at. But Inzem finally good in that exchange against Fearzly. He gets taken out though right after. TJ is going to take out Xploidz, leave him there to kind of think about what he's done. But Dyslexic being sneaky. He's trying to catch somebody slipping. Jefe being as careful as possible. Luckily, he kept his head on a swivel because if he gets too comfortable there, that's an easy down for Dyslexic.
An easy down for him. But F&I, they fight their way out that scenario. Hive grouping up down here towards Seaside Hall, towards Aquarium Hall. But they push back Dyslexic. B-Hill is still racking up points here for F&I. They are exactly where they want to be, because if that hill is getting decapped, that means Hive has to hop into it. Inzem uses his flash. Plenty of utility grenades on the side of F&I. They have more nades than Hive currently to work with. That stun comes through. The kills acquired. It's going to be currently a 3v4 on the map. Now a 3v3 on the map. So far, Hive is where they want to be, but they got to get these kills, and they need some more map control. They just need to alleviate some pressure here and force their opponent to have to make a difficult press forward. But with the home heal not getting any points, with player 9 and 1 going at it with each other, TJ finally wins the fight so he can cap up C. F and I, man, they were in a good spot, and I'm happy that they were not too impatient there, but they have to be on the go. They need to get to this B hill because currently, man, Hive, they're in a winning position. They're about to tie this one up, no problem.
He's playing so smart right now. The way he's backing out of these fights, the way he's baiting players into him, he's just playing to perfection. And it came through knowing he had the backup necessary. Hey, I can back up. I got your cross. Get your health back, and then you can attack. It's Fire Nice. They're looking to close out another round. They want this 2-0. TJ has to press forward. 2 targets in front of him. Damage being dealt, but there it goes. There goes Gift on 1. He has the other player weak already. He has the chance, but a shock. Was that on the ground? Because Dyslexic is dead, so he must have tagged that one on the ground, knowing they have to get through 2 members and a shock grenade if they're looking to break our hill.
Yeah, TJ still missed his first wrap shot. If he gets to chunk and goes down, he can crawl into that hill, and I think decap no problem. But even if that perfect play came through, it was a stretch. F&I with a 3-1 lead in map number 2, feeling dominant right now. We're going to start to see these home hill secondaries get built up. So Botox and some weapons going to be utilized up top for Fearzly and Inzem. But as we know, it comes down to what's happening down low in these engagements. And so I'm going to put the camera on Solurs to help make a play for Hive this round to help them cut this deficit and not fall down 4-1.
The strategy for Fire Nice again. They're sending those 2 players up top. It might be matched this time around with Solurs helping out Inzem. I didn't see exactly where Solurs was going,
Solurs
but
was down low.
yeah, they actually have the 3 players down low. So they saw the 3 up top. Great call up from Inzem, and they overextend. But there's 2 players, Inzem and Jefe. They backtrack. They're defending one side of the map. So interesting to see neither team wanting to make a daring effort to try to capture that neutral. It was a 2v2, so nobody was really able to get it for free. But there goes flashing on one side. Shots being fired out. Dyslexic is being forced back. So the position down low, it goes over to Hive.
Now they have to defend it. We see the wolf pack, that famous wolf pack from F&I, as they are rolling together. They're not slowing down, putting out damage. No way in hell Solurs could have defended against that push right there, even with a well-timed flash. F&I capping the E-hill, and we're still early here in round number 5, so they can just hold this, rack up the points. Another kill being picked up on the side of F&I. Trip cap domination coming through. TJ has to get through a Botox, but not today. F&I at series point.
You saw another 2 up top coming out from Fire Night. So that's 2 straight rounds. Their initial consisted of overstacking the top side of the map and catch these players on rotation, trying to backtrack and help. And you got to give them credit for it because it isn't necessarily to find the elimination up top. So they have their plan set out. Are they going to do the same thing again? Is Hive going to be able to catch on, or is another weapon up top going to be put down? So that way Hive can also send 2 members up top. So many questions.
Ooh, does that weapon get put down? So many questions indeed, right? But that's why I love casting with you, Jacob, because I love asking you questions. You love asking me questions. We love coming up with the answers, figuring out what are these 2 teams going to do in this moment, as we and all the fans of Gears Esports here are watching, well, at least some of them here on the stream tonight. We are locked into this series, but I think we are all in agreement, as we have been throughout the day in our predictions, that this is going to be so hard for Hive to make happen. But now is the time. Off the start, Xploidz has his 1v1 against Solurs. Didn't see if he used his flash or not right there. Still has it in his back pocket. Now is the time. Over the top. Solurs knows he needs to push forward. And even with the shock behind him, nowhere to go but forward and straight through Solurs. Now he can back up and help his teammate defend against TJ's aggression on the opposite end. And Toady is the type of player, man. He's not going to overexert himself if he don't need to. He's going to wait for help to come in. TJ is trapped, but he can get a quick back aid to the left, and that player knows.
Look, I was looking at Fearzly for a moment.
I think, yeah. Oh, Dyslexic didn't get the kill. Beautiful back aid from TJ, and he stays alive. Jefe saves his blood brother. brother, and they get the double. Now, what are they gonna do with this map positioning? There's a brawl up top. Solurs, it's a nice spread, but it wasn't good enough as he was trapped in a 2v1. Hive, they have E-Hill capped, and at this moment, F&I do not want to decap the home hill. They are completely okay with their positioning. Fearzly, at this point, is just trying to drop back to get with the rest of his teammates down low. He's going to let Xploidz hold this positioning.
Yeah, I don't really know. TJ was in a spot where he was crossable up top. Fire and Ice had 2 members up top. They had somebody that could have possibly watched.
But they also had 2 members in Solurs. But they had their hands full.
No, that's what I'm saying. They could have crossed over onto TJ just a little bit to try to start that fight. But oh my, TJ down from Inzem on Dyslexic. Big chunk taking out Fearzly. So 2 players dead for Fire and Ice. And this is where I almost want to see the aggression, but at the same time, they have 2 hills under their control. They have Xploidz trying to overextend. Solurs has to know this was definitely called out. And I like where nobody on Hive is really backtracking and spreading out their defense. They're putting all the trust into Solurs right here with that retro.
Cody pressing up. TJ got 2 players in his lane. Gets 1. Connects on the second, and he says, don't you ever try to disrespect me in this lower lane in your life, as he's gonna have to make Fearzly next on his hit list, get some initial damage in. Reinforcements are coming as well, but Hive says, you know what, we don't need your home hill. You come push us if you want to close out this series now. If not, Hive will survive once again as we head into round number 7. It's looking like it's going to be just that, barring some miraculous plays and maybe instant transmission, which will never happen. F&I could have won it, but they did it. Hive locks in round number 6.
As soon as he got that down, I didn't see the score there for a moment. I wasn't looking at the top left. I thought it was maybe possible, but immediately with the round ending, my hopes kind of shut down. But Hive, we kind of seen this before with Vanquish coming back against E United early on Harbor. They needed to win 4 straight rounds. They chained together a few before they fell short. Now, Hive, it's your turn to really come back 4 straight rounds. You did 1, so 3 more to go, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle.
I want to see this Hive squad fight with everything that they have. The players up top in Fearzly and Inzem will have some incendiary grenades in their back pocket to work with. One thing that any player who ends up picking nades up off the home hill, I want them to figure out a way to utilize their first nade, find a cheeky angle to get somewhere influential. But the way that exhibit is kind of laid out, you really can't get it anywhere in the fight. You just kind of got to worry about your engagement up top. Maybe the player who picks up that center line weapon on a shot can use his first if he brings out like a smoke or something and back up and get it. But yeah. But anywho, you see the members here of Hive. They get those initial kills. TJ, he got some words down low for this Lexi. He says, boy, you done pissed me off. I'm about to come back into this series. Hive still have not capped up the E-Hill, but TJ in this lane, he keeps working it, keeps forcing Tody to have to give him some respect. I want to see these other 2 Hive members collapse on Xploidz, and they're going to do just that as well as cap up the E-Hill. FA, where do you want to set up? TJ, he's pressed up pretty far. He might need some help soon because I think he's going to be the focus here of F&I. Xploidz, man, he lives in fire.
He is barely survived. It's everywhere except for where he's standing. Now they have this 2v1. They got to make short work of Solurs, but man, that's going to be a big down. Big elimination. He gets 2 quick kills. Solurs holding the line defensively. This is exactly what Hive needs to do in this scenario. You need to start winning these exchanges. Take it round by round. Take your advantages where you can. These must-win advantages. That was definitely one of them. Now you have a 40-plus point lead. Big kill for Fearzly, though, over the top, and that is going to spread out the numbers down low defensively. And look at where he's trying to catch those players out of rotation yet again. Big shots going down onto Jefe. None able to net himself a down. And Solurs is going to go ahead and rotate, knowing that player is going to come off a respawn, especially with TJ getting 1. Jefe's getting that down onto Xploidz. I do think they're going to net themselves a kill as well. So 2 players dead from Fire and Ice. Hive, they had the momentum from that last round, and they're using it to propel themselves in this one.
They are hunting. TJ and Jefe are hunting down low. After that initial damage, we didn't know what was going to happen to him, but they started fragging out. Fearzly still pressed up towards Inzem. That's going to come down to a last-second battle, but down low, F&I is trying to get some more map control. Solurs had the shock in his hand. He detonates that one on going down to the ground, gets the kill. But Tody with a decap at E buys his team a few more seconds, but They need a little bit more than just seconds here in this round. Hive is going to cut the deficit once again. Slowly but surely. Now they just have to play to perfection in these last 2 rounds.
5-3. 5-3. So this is the scoreline we saw Vanquish achieve. Let's just say 4-3. It's not over just yet. Before it was shut down 5-3 by United. They were unable to force that round number 9. Hopefully for a Hive. This one is going to be a little different, but man, did I just see an 18 kill scoreline for TJ in this match? Sort of like an MVP so far. The Disable is going to go out from Fire and Ice. They've had enough plays. They want to end it here.
Yeah, and you know that needs to be a mirror matchup. This is the comeback block, okay? This is where the team that is down. Sorry, this is where the team that is winning is going to use their block now in this round. So let's see. How is this one breaking out? Jefe versus Dyslexic. Double push. Dyslexic never played there, so that meant that he tried to get the jump, I believe, on Solurs down low in that lower right lane. Jefe trying to stop the capture, but cannot do so. Needs to keep Dyslexic head down, but those incendiary grenades from up top, Fearzly trickles down Hellfire onto his opponent. And Fire and Ice, they brought the heat, but now they just need to ice this series, ice Hive in this series. A few more kills to pick up, but on the map currently it's a 3v3 fight. Xploidz, TJ coming off the respawns now. I don't know if they'll have time to, they will definitely have time to get into this engagement, but this engagement is going to wait for both of those players before it kicks off. And Fearzly playing his life up top, knowing not to die from Inzem in this position.
And that's what's great about these 1v1 players, the scenarios of, oh my God.
He had to do that because he gave up right hand and he saw Inzem pressing him. So he said, you know what? I'm going to die on my terms and I'm going to get the first shot on you. That's why he made the play. That's a veteran move. And because of that, I told you they brought the heat, and now Fearzly has choked. And we are going to continue this round.
Oh, that is definitely an opportunity to end another way, but that instant up top over.
I was about to gas him up too. I was about to gas him up.
That instant over top, that's the second time he tried. He missed the first round, but I don't think anybody caught on because of how wide he possibly missed that shot. So interesting enough that he tries it again, gets himself a massive lead here for the rest of Fire and Ice. So Hive, that's why having to play for perfection, down 4-1. This round is going to have to be the most perfect round they played from here on out.
And they will have the E-Hill cap, so D is next on their list. Only 2 players currently defending it. Player 7 trying to get back. If this fight is won, it is going to be a Hive round, and I think they can do it. The stun comes there. Nice meat shield pickup to block the stun, but they couldn't wrap the corner to the home hill. That player got behind them. And now that, I think that was Inzem maybe wishing he cleaned up that kill from afar, but in the end, F&I, they have fortified their home hill. This is a difficult fight for Hive. Big down, the crossfire is there, the damage is coming through. Solurs is out of here. And now F&I can press forward, decap E. Chill out, hit your tent. TJ knows what's up at this point. You know, he just got to think about next week. Folks, Fire and Ice came out hot in map number 2 to close out this series in a 2-0 fashion. Congrats to them for locking in this series.
Yep, and it honestly came in a nice fashion. Map number 1, they're able to hold on to what I think it was around number 9 it was. And in map number 2, they played directly into their game. They started off with a normal strategy, Fearzly up top, the rest of the team down low. They got ahead, paired together some rounds, gained the momentum on their side, and then they switched it up, sending multiple members up top to try to gain that positioning. And then guess what, Blaze? As soon as Hive caught on, they switched it up once more, send their players down low, trusted Fearzly with those incense, and it worked out in that final round. Instant over the top, like raining down fire from above. He lands the kill and opened it wide open for the rest of Fire and Ice in that round.
Yes, he definitely did. Raining hellfire from above and that fight. And then he won the 1v1. So big plays from Fearzly in that last round to lock it out for the squad. And that's going to do it for our matches today. But man, we had a crazy day. And this was a great map to end it off on. It was a long one, but definitely delivered all 8 of the squads that we got a chance to watch. They put on a show for us and the fans, and For all the Gears of War fans who are out there watching, tweet your favorite player today. I'm giving you guys a call to action. If you saw an awesome play, if a player impressed you, if you enjoyed the stream, tweet somebody and say, hey, man, you are awesome. Great job today. Looking forward to watching the team during the major and next week. Show the love because, man, I tell you, it comes back around full circle and we're Gears fam for life.
I like what you said, but man, these replays time and time again. This was a big play by Solurs. I feel like I clipped this on my own side of things. That's how big of a play that was. But you kind of see these ending portions of the round, the ones that do come down to the time. Each team, they're forced to be defensive because of how evenly matched they are. And to me, Blaze, that really tells a true story, especially for teams like Vanquish, teams like Hive. I haven't seen much of Elevate, but even though you're going through that rebuilding phase, your foundation is still there. You're not necessarily starting from square one. It might be square 2 or 3 near the beginning, but it's not a fresh slate.